could only make you understand, it surely would be grand. I'm going to telegraph you, baby, ask you, won't you please come home? 'Cause when you're gone, I worry all day long. Oh, baby, won't you please come home?
Hello Space Engineers, good morning and welcome back to Hephaestus Prime, Wellington 6012 here. How you all doing today? I hope everybody's all fit and well and raring to go. So what's on the cards today? Well, quite a bit actually. There's a bit to sort of cover and go through. I've spent quite a bit of time off camera doing some, well, almost monotonous stuff, but not monotonous stuff. Just stuff that I don't think would make good viewing. Well, no, that's not really fair. It's just a fact that it takes quite a while to do what I was doing, so it would fill up lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of videos. So I figure we'll just have a bit of a review to start with and show you some of the things I've done. And yeah, it's more been about planning and sort of just trying to figure out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it and where I'm going to do it and those sorts of things. So with that, we'll start off with having a bit of a fly around and obviously looking at this huge great tunnel that I've dug and continue to tidy up some other projects that I'm just working through. Now first of all, the grapefruit has just arrived back. Sadly, it just missed out by about 10 seconds by coinciding with me flying past for the intro fly-in. But yeah, I've made quite a few trips with this. I've lost count. I'm talking 10, 15 trips maybe. And really getting the hang of setting it going and unloading it and not filling it up too much. Transit time is a lot quicker when I don't sort of fill it up to the gunnels with steel and actually put some lighter materials in as well. So yeah, now that'll fly off and don't have to worry about that for a little while. The grapefruit has made slow but steady progress on the inventory that's over at Treasure Island, getting it back. So I said that I was going to take this large container over, but I ended up not going back with it. I've just purely used the grapefruit and now it's just sort of kind of in the way actually, so I'm going to break it down I think, and if I need another one I'll just rebuild another one because I want to move the beast up the tunnel closer to where I'm working. Also we'll break off this temporary ore detector. I'll talk more about that when I go for a fly. And yeah, let's go have a look at this tunnel. So you can see we made quite a bit of progress. It's just continued to plough on into the hill and just hasn't really missed a beat at all. And in fact we're just going through a phase change now, so that's good timing. And I'll put one of these lights in because I think we're at the point where we need to put a connector in. So yeah, just change the colour on that. Yeah, it's just not missed a trick at all. I'm going to have to switch it off actually after this one because I am starting to run a little bit low on steel again. The grapefruit's kind of keeping up, but not keeping up because it does just use so much. And it's going quicker now as well. I've sped it up slowly, incrementally. It's got quicker. I think I'm at 0.009 meters per second where I started off at 0.005 meters per second, so almost double the original speed. I've also put a little bit of a gantry walkway type thing in and some ladder access if I happen to run out of hydrogen, although I think it's probably more cosmetic to be honest. Got my screen here. Let's just see how we're going with resources. Yeah, only about 1,000 steel, so I do need to turn this off because I haven't got much on the containers under the platform. So that's the easy thing about this, just stop the piston extending and the whole process stops. No mucking around having to recalibrate or interrupt timers like I had to on previous versions, which certainly provides good peace of mind, you know, making sure that if it does jam up or stop or something, that the mechanism behind it won't just keep pushing on and cause some horrendous great pile up like a motorway or highway accident. Now I'll just finish off these lights, and you saw I took them out of the terminal list so that doesn't clog up my list, and I've changed the settings on them. I think I'll come back to that connector, putting that in because I have stopped the drill, and I think I'll just restow all these things and get rid of this container, get the fly back on to the beast because that needs a charge, and restow the buggy because it's actually the beast that needs a recharge. It ran flat before. I did quite a bit of work with the refinery and the assembler. Like the assembler, I was actually breaking down some items to get some more iron, and of course making bits and pieces as well. So I put the reactor on 2 5-minute cycles to give it a little bit of a top up, and so I think it's sitting about 30%, but yeah, I need to plumb it into the main base now and take advantage of those wind turbines. And that'll be one of the main sort of focuses of today, will be to put a permanent wind farm in. So I've got a bit of an idea how I want to do that. I actually want to put it way up on top of the hill, get it way out of the way. And I'll get rid of those temporary pink ones up there. Restow this buggy, and the flyer, giving it a charge, because in the inventory it has got a bit of stuff for some acquisition contracts to cash in. So go for a fly over there, and then we'll go for a fly up the mountain and have a look at some resource locations. Just a few things I'm pondering there. Also, there is a pirate supply cache up there that I visited that I need to finish off grinding down. Now, I actually got into this one, so we'll go and have a look at that too. So I'll get rid of this, and I'll back the beast up, and I'll plumb it into the conveyor system, and then we'll head off. Okay, so that's all squared away. We will jump in the fly now and head over to the trading post, cash in the acquisition contracts that I've got on board. That is assuming, of course, that the flyer fits out of the tunnel while the beast is plugging the hole. Fingers crossed. Okay, I think there's enough room down either side. I might just take the right side because those turrets are kind of a little bit lower on the left there. Looks like there's enough room. Just sneak through here. Yeah, no worries. Plenty of room. I did measure the tunnel several times to make sure that it was big enough, but despite my confidence, I did hold my breath a bit as I backed the beast in. Yeah, I wasn't really 100% sure until it actually happened. Anywho, we'll head over to the trading post. Would have fast forwarded through that last bit, but hopefully I showed a couple of things. One was the sensor for the piston connection at the back. I ground that off because it doesn't work that well. The issue is that when you connect to a grid, it actually doesn't recognize it as a separate grid, and then it retracted again. So it didn't happen here, but it happened one other time when I was testing it, so I just got rid of the thing. I seldom use that piston, so I just manually extend it. The other thing was when the grapefruit was at Treasure Island, it's just on its way back from there now, I jumped into the assembler there and disassembled a whole lot of grids. They are just taking far too long to ferry back because they take up so much room volume-wise in the cargo container. So I've disassembled those back into their core components, and that way I can use the iron to create some steel plates in the drill assembler itself. Alright, so here we are at the trading post. I'll just dock in. The components are mainly in fact, no, they're all in my flyer inventory. A couple of volume heavy things in there, some radio components or something, I think. I can't remember. It's been a while since I actually came over and took out these contracts. Just leave the engines running, I think, in case some catastrophic thing happens where it disconnects. I think they do have an auto timeout on them, although I won't be here long. Right, contracts, cash them in. Okay. I think most of them are on the smaller side. So that's not bad. That's a reasonable size one, thruster components. It was only a small amount, so I thought I would get rid of those. Those canvas ones are pretty good. You get quite a bit of money for not much. And that one's just a bit of reputation more than anything. Okay, we'll see what else is in here. It's only 87. I'll go for that one. That's a nice easy one. So I'm just writing these down as I go so I don't forget them. That's another easy one. Too heavy. I've actually got that in the inventory. I brought some extra nickel ingots over with me, so I can finish that one off now. Easy peasy. It's a bit far out. I haven't got any of those. No, not going up uranium. Alright. Speaking of uranium, there's a pirate thingy there. Might just buy a little bit while I'm here if it's in there. Yep, there it is. I'll just grab 30, spend some of my well-earned money. More for the grapefruit than anything. I put 5 ingots in each. It's done a lot of work and it's getting down to 2, so I think next time I cross paths with it, I'll give the reactors just a little bit of a top up. So speaking of the grapefruit, it must just about be over at Treasure Island by now, so I'll jump into there and have a look. I'll just point in the direction that we're going and chuck some thrust override on to keep us going in that direction. Okay. Yep, it's there. So I'll just go in the inventory, and there's the grapefruit ones, and we'll just go into the large container. Now I'll chuck some quite light volume type things in, so those med kits are quite good for that. And I generally put in about sort of 500, 600, 700 steel plates, and then just fill up the rest with other stuff. Yeah, that's a bit of a mix there. As much as it would be good to get the steel back, my fear is that it's going to struggle bringing heaps of steel back, and then I'm going to be stuck with all these quite bulky components. So I'm best doing it this way and mixing up the loads. Now, the other thing that I did while I was off camera that I talked about in the intro was I did a couple of search contracts, just a couple of them. I did some flying around and mapped out some local resources. So I've saved them as GPS locations, and I'm just bringing up the ones of interest. Now, on the flatter ground, you can see the marking in the grass and that sort of thing, the black marks. And then up in the snow, you can see yellow marks indicating ore. But this rocky terrain that's surrounding the base, there's no indication of ores being under there. I just sort of happened to happen across one, and then I thought, actually, there are ores. I didn't think there were ores in this rocky terrain, but there are definitely ores in here. And that's why I mounted that large grid ore detector on the back of the flyer, so I got 150 meters, and I was able to sort of search as a bit of a grid pattern. So I found this iron here quite close to the base. I'll just get rid of those other ones that aren't really relevant. I found this iron here and gold quite close to the base. Now I'm just wondering if it's close enough that I can actually plumb in. Finding iron has been a bit of an issue. There's not much of it around. Most of what I've found has been like silicon and nickel and that sort of thing. Haven't actually found many iron deposits, but that looks like quite a big one, and I'm just contemplating whether I use that one and whether it's close enough to the base that I can actually put a tunnel in with a conveyor and just go directly into it. That's certainly something to ponder over. I am quite keen, as part of my sort of gameplay and make it a little bit different, a little bit challenging, is to have mountainside mines, you know, so that's sort of part of the challenge, going to altitude. Plus up here there's less pirates and stuff as well, so they do struggle. Now, as well as the iron ore being difficult to find, gold and in particular silver has been difficult to locate too. But I have found a patch and I might just skip over there now. It's further up on the mountain there. So here we are at the remote location up on the Alpine area with a resource for both cobalt and silver. So I quite like this little valley. It's not too far away from the main base, but also far enough away to be sort of remote or isolated, especially given the height as well. The atmospheric vehicles do work up here, but they do struggle a bit. So I'm thinking along the lines of putting in a remote base. So we'd have a mining facility here with refining capability to turn the ores into ingots, especially with the cobalt, because that does take quite a while for the refineries to process that. It does tend to sort of clog up the system, so it might be quite good having that external from the main base. Now, I did spot some other ores. There was some gold just on the ridge behind me, but while I'm here I'll just have a little bit of a look at this slope, because I'm not sure if I have actually covered this area. So I'll do a bit of a sweep just to see if there's any other sort of materials that could be useful up here and potentially tap into with the remote refining facility. Now, there's a yellow stain on the snow, which silicon and magnesium. And how far away is that site? A little bit of a distance. Anyway, I just wanted to sort of show you around up here. No plans to do anything with it immediately. Got plenty of resource at the moment, but when I do run out, I'll have to start thinking about that. And I have got a name for this mountain, which I'll talk about at some other time, because I will name this one, especially since the base is under it. Yeah, I'll just keep having a bit of a look around here, see if I can't find any other resource, and then head over to the pirate thing, the salvage? Survival cache, and have a look at that. So here we are at the pirate supply cache, not survival or salvage, it was supply. Now you can see that I actually got into it last time. There's several buttons getting into the doors, and they all have an open option. Now I just sort of pressed one and ran away, and the doors opened. So yeah, I don't quite know what to make of these. I'm just having a look in here. I did grind down the cargo container and weld it back up again, so just checking what else is in the control panel. And yeah, everything sort of seems active, so I'm at a bit of a loss as to why it let me in and let me grind stuff down. And yet previous times it sort of blew up when I just touched it. Oh, like that. What? Why did that happen? I mean, I know why it happened, it was booby trapped obviously, but why did it let me in originally? Alright, fly back up there. Actually it's a bit of a distance, I think I'll grab a hydrogen bottle before I go. I don't think I'll make that on one jetpack load. Have plenty of those spare, so I'll throw one of those on board. And then get back up the top. So I'll have to get all my gear back, and there'll no doubt be some remnants of the supply cache, which I can grind up and throw into the back of the flyer, and we'll head back down and we'll get on with putting these windmills in and get some power supply happening. That's all sorted, so we'll head back down to the main base. I ground down the remnants of that supply cache and got some steel plate. I also had a look at the timers and sensors. I ground them down to hack them and re-welded them. There seems to be some sort of script that's causing the booby trap to go off. So whether shutting down the game and restarting it re-enabled that script, I'm not too sure. It did seem to be a reoccurring timer thing, so all a bit of a mystery to me. I think I might just have to avoid those supply drops from now on, because I don't really want my landscape full of craters either, for that matter. So now I head back down the base. I'll thread the needle again, get this flyer inside and connect it up to the beast so it can have a bit of a recharge. Then I'll see where the grapefruit's at and we'll get on to getting these windmills in. So this is where I'm going to make a bit of an access tunnel to put a connection up to where the windmills go. There will be a blast door in here at some point, so I think I'm far enough in that we'll avoid that. So I'm just going to run a single row of unfinished typical lightweight armor blocks, and that'll go into the mountain for a fair distance. I don't know how far, but probably could even be like 100 blocks maybe. And then I'll put another projector in. So I've got this one projector to sort of keep me online, and I've got this blueprint that I use as a template, bit of a guide, and that is just a single block, but it's about 250 blocks long, so I just use that for figuring out where stuff pokes out of places. So I'll go in a fair distance and then I will pop on another projector and put the same guide vertically so it pops up out of the mountain, and then I'll hop outside and just make sure I've got my positioning right, and I'll be able to drill down from the top and link them up and should be all good. Now once again, in the back of my mind I am a bit concerned about the number of blocks that I'm using here and the potential lag that the size of the base may cause. Yeah, just want to do something a little bit different, you know. Part of the whole reason for choosing the location that I've put the base is to be under the mountain, and having this... Ow! Did I just get struck by lightning? How did that happen under a mountain? Gosh. Lost my train of thought there. Potential lag. So... yeah, the way that I'm doing things isn't necessarily the most efficient way, but I'm doing them for a reason. I mean, windmills you don't necessarily find down on the lake bed. I mean, they'll work fine down there at Space Engineers, but normally you find windmills up on top of hills, and that's the wrong shape. Just manually putting these blocks in, even though I've got the template, I'm not welding them up, I'm just placing them. So yeah, just trying to make a bit of interest, you know, instead of the most efficient way, actually just make it interesting. Now I'll run out of time this episode, but I will need to put some extra batteries in as well. I mean, part of putting these windmills in, I may as well get ahead while I haven't got stuff running off them, actually get a little bit of energy in the bank. So what I'll do is, at the start of this tunnel, I'll actually make a bit of a alcove out of the main tunnel, so the batteries and stuff won't be in the main tunnel. In fact, none of the refining or assemblers or storage or anything like that. That main tunnel is just an access tunnel to get to the various different alcoves or bays. So it is taking quite some thought to figure out how I'm going to carve out those bays. I was wondering whether I'd do a smaller drill machine, similar to the big one, but just a smaller version. But I think it needs to be portable, so I'll probably come up with some sort of vehicle that can mine. So that'll probably be tomorrow's job, well, next episode. So I've got a few ideas how to do that, and it'll be a room carving machine basically. So yeah, just healed myself after getting struck by lightning. I still can't believe I got struck by lightning underground. Yeah, it's just, yeah. While I'm here, I'll also check out the grapefruit, because that should be over at the Pirate Quest by now, Treasure Island. Yep, it's over there, so I'll just load it up with stuff. I did send it off recently, the last trip, and when I was over there last time, I did do another batch of disassembling of things, a few missiles and stuff, because I got more than enough missiles, so that's where those uraniums and platinums have come from. So I'll pull all that back over and just the usual stuff. And then what I might do is, this drilling is gonna take absolutely forever, so I think I'll do a bit of a speedy uppy thing, because we're romping on again through the episode. I knew today was going to be busy, and yeah, I'll just continue on and maybe come back to you when we reach the surface and start making a windmill. that didn't actually take as long as I thought it was going to take. Rather than an eternity, it only took forever. So here we are, sun has gone down, night is rapidly falling, but I think we've got time to get through one of these windmills. So I'll just change the colour here, have that nice sort of mossy look that blends in quite well with this ground, with this terrain. So I have a little bit of a foundation for each one, more so to cover up the hole actually that I've created by coming up here. Put that around the right way. Then I will have a stack of incomplete blocks up above it. So what, 7 or so of those I think to get some ground clearance. I did think about using those tyres and get the cylinder look, but I think the square will work a bit better, and it enables me to stick a warning light on it too. So I'll just keep going through these. So yeah, I think we're getting very much towards the end of the episode. Because of the whole light thing, I think I'm only going to have a chance to really get one of these done on camera and time wise as well. I mean, we've got through heaps today. So I think that'll be the plan. I'll work through this, and then off camera I will do 2, maybe 3 other ones. And what I'll do is this one I'll put a door in a little bit further down the slope to enable me to get access into the subterranean tunnels in order to put more subterranean sort of supports and connections. I'm not going to use any power lines or anything like that above ground. I'll try and keep it all hidden. And yeah, then next episode I will do the intro up here, and I'll show off hopefully 2 or 3 windmills, which should be good to get some permanent infrastructure in rather than the pink stuff I've been doing so far. And I'll be able to start to knock down those ones that are at the front, or just swap them out or something. I'll put a few of these blocks up. Also tomorrow, yeah, I'm gonna definitely start, hopefully finish, a vehicle with some drills on the back. I need to be able to move locations within the base and dig out what will probably end up being multiple voids or caverns or whatever you want to call it, to put various bits of infrastructure and stuff. Here we go, first windmill is done. And I need to change colour on that. Do a nice silver to match the unfinished blocks. There we go. Cool. Okay, I'll just put my warning light up and program that. And that will be us for the day. I did get through quite a bit of stuff. And yeah, I suspect that a lot of it will get trimmed in the edit, or choppy. And I'll also continue to work through the night on those windmills and see about starting that drill up again. Yeah, and just again, I'll keep pretty busy with just sorting out stuff, it seems. Yeah. Anywho, we'll get this slide all sorted, then we'll head back up the top, and I think we'll find a nice little place to park ourselves to say goodbye. And that is a wrap. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you again next time. Stay safe out there, everybody. Have a good one.